Welcome to Traxos, Scourge of Kroog. As far as opening hand goes, I love it. We've got Ancient Tomb I'm going to keep. And we've also got the two Twins of Power in our opening hand. We have Duplicant and Karn. They're ready to just punch somebody with both of their fists right there. Our opponent's on the play, so we'll go and let them get this game started. But we are playing Traxos. Scourge of Kroog, Trample. And are they going to get... No Rhys. All right. Let's go ahead and get down. I guess at this point, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to get down... Ancient Tomb. That way, if we somehow get into a quick Traxos or something with Mishra's Factor, we'll have access to some pretty good mana. But yeah, get down Ancient Tomb, we'll pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing Traxos. Traxos enters the battlefield tapped and does not untap during your next untap step. Then, whenever you cast a historic spell, untap Traxos. Playing against Rhys the Redeemed. I think it's Rhys or Rhys or... I always get it like... So basically, like I call it one way and I'm like, man, I'm pretty sure that's the correct way to pronounce it, and then like I'm always just wrong. But we're gonna roll with Rhys the Redeemed for this video, but that may not be right. Anyways, 3 mana activation, create a 1/1 green and white elf warrior creature token. Then for 6 mana, for each creature token that you control, create a token that is a copy of that creature. So most of the time, these Rhys decks tend to be pretty token focused, which is always kind of fun to play against. And we're drawn to Wayfarer's Bauble. So we can't get down Cloud Key, which is going to give us basically a free Wayfarer's Bauble. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's go and get down Waste. Let's go for Cloud Key. That's going to be 1/2. And that way we can cast Wayfaring Bauble for free, and we can kind of search it up. We're going to choose, yes, I would love to choose artifacts. That's pretty much what we've got going on. So let's cast Bauble. I'll be able to get that down to search up an additional waste, and that way we can make sure we make our land drops. And then let's go and pass the turn to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. It is free time. We can talk about where we want. That's going to be Traxos. What are we doing with this deck? This is basically... You know, there's certain ways you can run Traxos. Traxos definitely lends well to some sort of Voltron deck where you're getting a lot of stuff on Traxos. He is a 7/7 Wind Trample. I make a ton of Voltron decks, so I didn't really want to kind of go all in on Voltron with Traxos. And so when I decided to build Traxos, I've never built a colorless deck before. And so I just wanted to build like an artifact good stuff deck. And I'll kind of talk about it a little bit more here in just a second. Let's go and get down Urza's Factory. Unstable is going to cost 2. To get down. We actually can go for Traxos if we want to. Now we cannot get down Karn just yet. Let's go and go for Traxos. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm okay though. Let's get down Traxos. Unfortunately, we don't have an artifact to cast, but what we really need to do is we really need to get rid of Burmaz. And so at least next turn, that's going to put us online for a Duplicant, because that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and that'll be 5 mana off of a Duplicant. That'll get rid of Burmaz, because those tokens really start to add up really quick. So we'll get that down, we'll go and pass the turn. But yeah, so as far as commander decks, you know, I have like, last time I counted, I have like around 40 or 50 commander decks. And so I like to have certain decks that are kind of like a home for... Well, like when new sets come out, there's a brand new artifact that's really cool. I like to have homes for certain cards. And so this Traxos deck is definitely going to be a home for new artifacts going forward. So in the future, if you see a new artifact in a new set that you think would go good in Traxos, hop in the comments, let me know. And when the next set releases, I want to make a video that's going to basically be people helping me update these decks. Because I tried to update it for Guilds of Ravnica. And... man, there's just a lot of decks, and I miss a lot of stuff sometimes. Let's go and get down Ghost Quarter. Yeah, let's go for Duplicant. I'm good with that. Let's going to untap Traxos, and basically at this point, we're just going to leave Traxos untapped. Untap Traxos, it's going to be 7/7. That way we can just kind of stop them from coming across. And our opponent did get down Sigil Captain. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it's a 1/1, put 2/1 counters on it. Okay, we're going to go and exile Burmaz, because that's going to add up really quick with those Cat Soldier tokens. It's going to make it a 3/4. And then, yeah, let's just go and pass the turn, because at this point right now, if we get hit with some 3/3s, we are sitting at 18. That Ancient Tomb is putting some work on our life total, with us being so taxing on it. So we don't want to get our life total down too low. I recorded a video the other day where our life total didn't get down too low, but something like an overwhelming stampede is something that we can definitely change the game. So we want to at least kind of preserve our life total just a little bit. But yeah, for the most part, I just want to have a deck that, I like building decks that have homes for certain cards. So that's why I try and hit at least all of the colors within Commander. And Traxos is definitely going to be the colorless deck of choice going forward. It's just fun. I don't know. You get Traxos down sometimes, and you've got a 3-turn commander clock with a 7/7, and especially with they for some reason, wild reason, they unbanned Mishra's Factory in I mean Mishra's Factory in Commander, so it's like 3 colorless mana. So there's just sometimes where you're like a turn 2 Traxos with a 7/7, you're like, is this good? So you look at your opponent, and then they scoop up. So that makes for some really fun matches. Opponent did end up going for Haro, sacrificing a land, and it looks like they got down 4. So what is this? Elfhome Palace. I've never seen that card before. I love it. It's got some cool art on it. I don't know. It's just funny. You play Magic long enough, and you just always see cards that you didn't know existed sometimes. Okay, so we can get down Blasted Landscape. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that'll be 6. We can get down Dreamstone Hedron. We can get some really good ramp going. Yeah, let's go and get down Blasted Landscape. We do need to crack the bauble at least at some point. But yeah, let's go for that. Let's go for Dreamstone Hedron. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 1, 2 off of Ancient Tomb. And actually, excuse me, let's go and swing in with Traxos, because they want to chump block with a lot of these creatures. We're at least going to be able to get them for a 7/7. And if we eat up a lot of those, I'm fine with that. We'll cast Thran Dynamo on the back end. Let's go and swing in for a 7/7. Okay, we're going to get the whole crew blocking on this one. I like it. Let's go ahead and make it to where, there we go. Hit Redeemed, hit Sigil Captain. Definitely want to make sure we take care of Sigil Captain, because that's going to really help us. So we're going to click OK on that. I'm A-OK with making that trade. We're definitely going to be able to bounce back on mana next turn. Unless they have Heroic Intervention. Oh, no. Do they? Nice. I should have played around. Shout out to Eli, because I always have Heroic Intervention against him whenever we play the EDH Lounge. So that was a nice play by our opponent. So we're going to miss out on Traxos. This is worth going for it, though. We're going to deal that damage out, and they're going to be A-OK, and Traxos is going to get sent back to the command zone. Do we want to get down Unstable to take care of something like Sigil Captain? Either way, yeah, we can actually still get it down with Dreamstone, with Thran Dynamo. So it's going to get down Thran Dynamo. And then let's go and get down Unstable, because we might need to use that next turn to blow something up. So yeah, I should have, man, that 2 mana was up. I was like, oh, we can get in for some chip shot damage, and then like, And actually, we'll use that. We'll crack the Wayfarer's Bauble with that last mana off of Urza's Factory. That way we can at least make the land drop for next turn. Let's grab a waste, and then, enters the battlefield. Anything else? No, we're going to kick it back over to our opponent. So next turn, we've got a pretty good chunk of mana available to us. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13 total mana. So that definitely does keep us online for at least going for an unstable activation and blowing something up. And we should be able to at least get down Traxos. Now we'll see what we do draw into, but that was a pretty devastating play by, but that's why I love Heroic Intervention so much. It's just such like a heart of the cards moment where like they start tapping that 2 mana, and you're like, oh no, do they have it? And then they certainly do. But like I mentioned, we definitely need to take care of Sigil Captain. You can see how good it is in a deck like this, to where turning your 1/1s into 2/2s or 3/3s, excuse me, is some really good magic. Really makes it easy for you to build up a board state. All right, so we draw into Shrine of the Forsaken Gods, and we definitely have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll be the 7th land for the term. So we might even get in a position where we want to crack Dreamstone Hedron. Yeah, let's go and go for Unstable. That way we don't have to worry about this anymore. Let's go for the 3 mana off of Thran Dynamo. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 off of Forsaken. And that's one of the things in this. Oh, wait, excuse me. We can only use that for colorless spells. We'll use that to cast Traxos. There we go. Tap down Waste, and then Ghost Quarter, and then Blasted Landscape. Okay, so we're going to destroy Sigil Captain. Poor little Rhino, get out of here, buddy. And then that should allow us to get down Traxos. The only downside is we're not going to be able to untap Traxos, but we definitely need to get him on the battlefield sooner than later. So let's go ahead and go for Shrine. That's going to be 1, 2. And then unfortunately we cannot get down Dreamstone. And we'll just pay 3 off of Dreamstone. That way we're not taking any damage off of that. All right, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. So we're looking at a 3/3, a 3/3 elf, and then we also have Rhys. and making a few more tokens on the battlefield that can certainly add up. But the main thing is we are going to turn those 1/1s into getting rid of them being able to be 3/3s, which is really going to help us out. Now, something that's really going to help us out is if we can draw into something like All Is Dust. It's going to make us each player sacrifice all colored permanents that they control, which is pretty much going to be everything on their side of the board. And then also something like Karn. Not Karn. Well, Karn will definitely help, but Ugin. Getting down Ugin and exiling everything is when you can just get one-sided board wipes, that is just one of the best feelings in Magic. I love it. All right, so we draw into Thought Vessel. And now that will untap Traxos. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get down Traxos. Excuse me, untap Traxos, get down Thought Vessel, and let's go and crack Dreamstone Hedron. We need to get something on the battlefield really bad. Okay, drawn to Throne of the High City, Blink Moth, and then Expedition Map. It's going to get down, well, actually, with the Expedition Map, that's going to keep us online for really anything that we need. Yeah, let's go get down Throne of the High City. Let's go and cast, let's go for Karn. It's going to untap Traxos, but we don't really want to swing into this board state. I mean, we could try to swing in, but on the back end, we're looking at some 3/3s. I don't really want to make it easy for our opponent to swing in at us once we pass the turn. So let's go and get down Karn. And then let's go and go for Blink Moth Urn. It's going to untap Traxos, and it's still going to leave Ancient Tomb down. And then at this point right now, since we don't necessarily need Ancient Tomb that bad, we could cast it for free to search up some sort of land. I guess if we wanted to, we could grab... Yeah, let's go and get down Expedition Map, because I was wanting to hold on to it as something for Traxos, but now that I think about it, we can use that to go for Maze of Ith, which we should have in here. I'm going to double check once we crack Expedition Map, but we can grab Maze of Ith off of that, and that's going to at least allow us to kind of untap one of these creatures from blockers. Now, one of the downsides with Militia Captain is that... if you control 4 more creatures, transform it. Yeah, it's going to flip this turn. So I was thinking it's either 4 or 5, but either way, they're going to have it flipped. So we are looking at a 5/5 with a Westfell Cult Leader. Now with Karn, target non-creature artifact becomes a... Yeah, non-creature artifact. So what we can do is we can still at least reanimate a Blink Moth Urn, and then, you know, something like Expedition Map as a last-minute effort to... kind of turn it into a creature for a few extra blockers, especially if we want to catch the Cult Leader. But we'll see what our opponent kind of rolls out. Okay, opponent's going to go for a Rhys activation, making a copy of each token that they control. Let's see if they do decide to swing in. It's going to make the Cult Leader an 8/8. Okay, no swinging from our opponent. I'll take that. And let's go and go for the Expedition. Yeah, let's go for the Expedition Map crack. So we 1/2 off of Ancient Tomb. At this point right now, using Ancient Tomb, getting our life total down, it's okay. There's better things we can be doing. All right, I was going to grab Seagate Wreckage, because we actually use Seagate Wreckage as another way for us to kind of start getting some card draw, which is exactly what we need. And that's going to work out perfectly with Threat. Look at that Human Cleric. That's a Church of Athreos parishioner right there, if I've ever seen one. Love that token. Let's see what we draw into. Sanctum of Ugin. And then that's going to be converted mana cost 7 or greater. Now, we're going to be able to add a ton of mana to our mana pool off of Blink Moth Urn. I was really hoping to hit something that we can cast this turn. I was going to add that colorless mana to our mana pool. That's going to be 7 mana. We can use Urza's Factor, create a 2/2 worker token. Yeah, let's go and get down Seagate Wreckage. Let's go and go for Throne of High City. It's going to make us become the Monarch. That way it's going to allow us to at least draw an additional card. And let's go triple. And let's go and make a using that last floating mana, we'll make an assembly worker. Okay, then anything else, we're going to go actually untap that one land, and we're going to pass turn to our opponent. Like I said, we don't really want to swing into this board state. They can get into a position to where maybe they're only at 2 cards in their hand. They don't really have some sort of way to make this a really good block for them. Maybe we can get lucky and somehow like start building up enough assembly worker tokens. It's going to be really easy for us to go for these activation off of Urza's Factory, especially with Blink Moth Urn on the battlefield. That's going to be a really easy way. And the good thing with Westfell Cult Leader is that it does not have trample, because if it had trample, that would pretty much be the undoing of us really quick. Now, as far as next turn, we'll see what we do draw into Elspeth. All right, gain 1 life for each creature you control, create 3. Destroy all of their permanents except for lands and tokens. Okay. We definitely do not want to see that. So they're going to get down Elspeth. And let's see how they decide to go for this. Because at this point right now, let's look at them tapping out for Elspeth. Gain 1 life for each creature they control. Okay, that's not the end of the world with them going for that life gain. The only thing is we have to watch out for that that -5 ability for lands and tokens. So that's basically going to be a one-sided board wipe, which is really going to get it for us. At least we do have at least some sort of card draw for next turn. We have Hedron Archive. Put a +1 counter on each creature you control, and then it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got 3 blockers. That's going to be dangerously close to combat damage. Let's see what they get going. Okay, they're simply just going to swing in the Westvale Cult Leader. Let's go for a Karn activation. I guess we'll make Cloud Key's going to give us a reduced cost. I guess at this point we'll just go for Duplicate. That's just sitting at a 3/4. Yeah, I think we're fine with that. Yeah, we'll go for Duplicate because then it's exiled. Yeah, we'll just go and block on that 10/10. We could let it go through, but I don't mind. You know, we can't really swing into this board state, and we'll just kind of preserve our life total for 4. It's going to send Duplicate into the graveyard. And then let's see what we draw into. That's going to be another Cleric token. So if we do draw into Ugin, oh, that would be nice. I'd love it. Draw into Waste. That is not Ugin. Okay. Let's go ahead and go for Hedron Archive. In fact, we just don't want to see any lands because we want to get down... we want to be able to use Seagate Wreckage. Let's go ahead and go for Hedron Archive. Let's go and untap Traxos. Yeah, and let's go and go for Hedron Archive Crack. Let's draw 2 cards. We draw into Spine, which is absolutely wonderful. It's going to allow us to take care of Elspeth. That is really good. Okay, let's go and get down Spine. Actually, we'll get down Sanctum of Ugin. Let's go for Spine, because once we cast Sanctum of Ugin, it's going to be a colorless creature card. Yeah, let's go for Spine. We may not win, but at least at this point, we're going to be able to get some stuff going. Let's go. Traxos is going to be Sanctum of Ugin. Let's get this pumped out. And then what's going to give us the biggest... Mere Battlesphere. Yeah, I like that. Mere Battlesphere is going to be 7 mana, and we still should be able to get that going. So that's going to give us the most amount of creatures on the battlefield. I'd love to go for one of the Eldrazi, but Mere Battlesphere is going to allow us to at least kind of muddy up the board just a little bit. Okay, we're going to have Spine enter the battlefield. Let's go and destroy Elspeth. I got super worried for a second that Oath of Ajani made Planeswalkers indestructible. That's why I popped that up really quick. Let's go for Mere Battlesphere. Get on Mere Battlesphere, get a lot of Mere tokens on the battlefield. And then anything else. It's going to give us 3 mana to go for activations off Spine and Blinkmoth Urn. So yeah, we're just going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. And then next turn, since we have so many artifacts on the battlefield, that'll definitely allow us to kind of start going for more of these Urza's Factory activations. So there we go. That was a beautiful... Ooh, we draw into All Is Dust, which is really nice. So we actually use that All Is Dust if we survive this turn, which we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 total creatures from our opponent, and we've got 5, 6, 7, 8. We should, unless there's some sort of overwhelming stampede effect, we hopefully, fingers crossed, we should be able to make it. Ooh, that's yucky. Dauntless Escort. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Now, if they don't swing in this turn, they can swing in and force us to go for a lot of chump blocks, especially that Dauntless Escort. But if they don't for some reason, this All Is Dust is going to be perfect because that will definitely get around the indestructible clause of making them sacrifice creatures. And they're going to go for Rhys activation. And let's see if they go for the swing in. Oh, yes. Okay, they pass the turn. Beautiful. Beautiful. And that should allow us to... they're going to get an extra Cleric token on the battlefield. Oh, that is nice. I love it. Drawn to Mind's Eye. It's going to get down Waste. Add that colorless mana to our mana pool. And let's go for All Is Dust. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's go ahead and get down Swiftfoot Boots. Actually, we're going to tap them on the back end because that's going to be... We'll see how much damage that is. We can still... Yeah, let's just go and swing in. We'll cast it to get the... get down Mind's Eye. Okay, opponent's going to scoop it up on this one, so that's going to be a good game. So we get down that all is dust. It's going to get rid of all of their tokens. We do have at least 4 in mirrors coming across. We're going to get that extra damage from Mirror Battlefield, getting that damage up top. But for the most part, since we're not going to knock them out this one turn, long story short, we've knocked out their entire board state, so pretty much it is going to be a good game. We're going to get down Mind's Eye, so whenever opponent draws a card, we can pay that 1 mana. It's going to be a really nice card draw source for us, but definitely a good game to our opponent. That heroic intervention was really cool to see, and you can see how cool it is to playing in this, like, monocolored deck or an artifact deck, excuse me, and then you have to use stuff like All Is Dust. You can just having these one-sided board wipes is just such a good thing, and we got so lucky with Spine being able to, and actually now that I think about it, excuse me, we could have gone for Karn activations to kind of turn these into creatures, and that probably would have been lethal damage once we go for those Karn activations. But you can see how nice it was drawing into this Spine. That really turned the tide for us, being able to get rid of Elspeth, and then allows us to kind of draw into All's Death. So definitely thank the Magic Gods for that game. In fact, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.